going on, everyone? It's Tony with RcHelpDotCom. If you watched the video last Monday, this is exactly how it left off. So, in this video this week on the Traxxas T-Maxx 2.5, it's disassembly time. We've got to get this thing torn down. As you can see, I do have my competition RC towel sitting here. This is a track that I used to run at. This truck is going to be dirty taking it apart. That's why I have this towel down, just so I can take it outside and shake it off, put it in the washer, wash it up, get it clean, and I'm ready to use it again. It's just so much easier to put a towel down. No, it does not have to have custom embroidery. You can use any towel, just any old towel that you have laying around the house. This keeps stuff from rolling around. It gives you a nice soft surface. It gives you a place to catch the dirt. It's a good idea to put a towel down. So, like I said, in this video, we are going to be taking this truck apart. The first thing I'm going to start with, get this thing moved over here. Go ahead and take these wheels off. One thing you always want to look for is make sure the hex did not come out with it. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put these nuts back on just lightly. That front tire was on there real tight. So I'm going to go ahead, pop all four of these tires off, and then I'll be back. Did you see right there? Yeah, it pulled that hex out of there. You don't want that hex to be pulled out because these pins, they can and will just fall out. So get your hex back out, put it back on there. That way you don't lose anything. This is all about organization and keeping everything where you know where it's at. Pulled that one off too. Go figure. Sometimes these things can be a little booger to get out. So what you do, get you an Allen driver, stick it down in there, pops it right out. Alright, so we'll take a closer look at these wheels. As you can see, they're kind of dirty, but I have definitely seen a lot worse. This is the other rear one here. Not too shabby. Set that one aside. These are going to be the front ones. As you can see, this one has more dirt and mud in it than this one does, but not bad. I am noticing that the foam has started to decay inside it, so it doesn't have any firmness whenever I push on it, just slightly, but you can still feel foam in there. So we're going to just reuse these tires, and yeah, we'll see if we can blow them off the rim whenever we're done. Go ahead and set these tires off to the side here. The next thing we're going to take off is the wiring. Since if you guys watched the previous video, you already know it's just an alligator clip for the ground. I've already pulled that piece off because I wanted to look at the glow plug. And there's the wiring harness. I don't know that we're going to put that wiring harness back in because I do have glow igniters that you can just put on top. That way you don't have to worry about the bulky, easy start to fire off the glow plug. Alright, we do have a zip tie here. This is not what these cutters are made for, but cuts right through. I'm going to go ahead and 86 that zip tie. Take a look at this bumper. Now I did notice one thing on disassembly, and it was on this one right here. If you look, I'm just going to grab the nut. I'm going to pull out. Look how much that pulled out right there. So we're going to need to find some shims to put on here because this should not have this much play whatsoever. The fuel tank, if you guys watched the last video, it basically evaporated everything out. We got some gummy crap in the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and take the fuel tank out and take the muffler off. Most of these screws that are going to be on these are just going to be standard number 2 Phillips. If you need to, dig the dirt out of these screw holes before you go taking it out. And that's precisely what I'm going to have to do to these screws right here because, yeah, you can't hardly even see them. Alright, with that, fuel tank falls out. We can go ahead, flip it back over, drop our screwdriver on the floor. The roll bar, I forgot about this and I picked it up. It's not attached up here. If you watched the first video, yeah, you know that. But it's attached over here where the muffler's attached, and then it was attached over here right underneath the fuel tank. Yeah, I forgot about that. So it's only got one attachment point, and here I am trying to yank on it. Okay, I'm seeing some janky stuff going on here. Looks like we're going to need some fuel line for this thing because this, bad idea. Go ahead, pop the fuel line off of the muffler if we can. Good Lord, that thing was tight. Pull the fuel line off the carburetor. Go ahead and pull out the fuel tank. Again, there's nothing in it, so I don't have to worry about it spilling. Set that off to the side. So now we're going to take the muffler off, which means we got to take this out. That's an Allen. That should not be an Allen. That should be a Phillips. Yeah, this thing's on here kind of weird. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that nut with a pair of pliers. Go ahead and take that off. We should be able to pull this out now. Maybe. Get out of there. And there we go. We got our 3-point roll bar. From what I've seen, I haven't seen very many places that have these roll bars anymore. Everybody's wanting to sell you a full cage, which I don't really understand that. This will be put back on properly. We may have to do some bending, and we may break it, so I may get to even do some welding on this truck. That'll be pretty cool. Alright, so our muffler's loose. I'm not even going to worry about taking that off of the muffler. Let's see if this thing will slide off the engine. Ooh, that slid off the engine a little. You see where the mark is on there. Yeah, that zip tie wasn't even clamping it down. So we could have been losing some pressure out of here, which means it would have been running a little bit lean. That could be bad. It could definitely be bad. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take this engine out. See if I can get this air filter off without breaking the carburetor. I really don't like the composite carburetors, but now we can get a better look at all sides of this air filter. I'm not even sure what color that used to be. So set that off to the side. Go ahead and flip it back over. We're going to have to get our screwdriver to clean out these Allen holes. That way we can get our Allen wrench in there. Oh, that one has some crusty stuff in it. Now do you see why we're using a towel? Now, take our Allen driver. We're going to take the engine and engine mount all at once. Now I know you guys are probably seeing me laying all these screws down here. I will be putting these on what they came off of, so don't worry. And the last bolt. Got that out. The engine should fall out. Well, there it goes. It was hanging on that little linkage right there. But now we can get a better look at the engine. As you can kind of see there, it does say 2.5 down there. Take a look at the clutch bell. That's not spinning all that great. And those teeth are freaking razor sharp, man. That's the downside with using a metal spur gear. So it might be a good idea to get a new clutch bell for this one, unfortunately. Check the slide on the carb. Oh, yeah. She's a little tight. Here's the other side of the engine. And now that I've got it out and I can actually grip the flywheel, see if we can't get this thing to break free. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it's just extremely gummy. If you have a pull start or any kind of one way in the back, only go counterclockwise. I forgot about that. We will be rebuilding this engine. That'll be in a future video, but we're going to have to go completely through it, obviously clean it up. And yeah. Alright, as promised, let's go ahead and get these screws cleaned up. That'll give me a chance to let you guys know that this is an in-depth teardown of this truck. So this video is long, and I'm going to try to remember to put down in the description different timestamps of when I remove different things. And that screw went in completely sideways. Alright, those 4 screws are in there. We know where they go. Go ahead, put our engine mount screws in here. That way we know where they go. Alright, set the engine off to the side. Now we can move on. I think we need to get the electronics off of here. So, grab our Phillips screwdriver. We'll go ahead and get the throttle servo off first. Drop that screw. We're going to find that. Drop that screw. Dang it. See if I can catch one. Aha, got one. See? There it is. Alright. Go ahead and grab that. I don't know if these are 050 or not, and they are not, surprisingly. Okay. We're going to go ahead and pop this collet off because we're going to have to redo the brake setup on this truck. So I'm not worried about saving any settings whatsoever. And then on this one here, all you do is get the servo out for one. And the only reason I can do this is because I got so much wire that I can move. But then you just twist it up and that'll pull right out. So got that off. We are going to have to take this mount off to get it completely out, or we can undo this. Yeah, I guess we can undo that. Go ahead and take a look at the receiver in here. This will give us a good time to do that. Holy massive receiver, Batman. Look at the size of that chunky sucker. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. I'll go ahead and just pull the antenna straight out. That way we have this. We can go ahead and set that to the side. Now we got all this. Now's a good time to kind of take a look. Yeah, where's this stuff go, you know? We've got our throttle servo here, so we can track that down. That's going to go in channel 2. Channel 1 is going to be your steering, and then obviously you get your battery channel. This is going to be channel 3 down here that doesn't have a servo. That servo is going to go right there. We're just going to unplug every one of those. Set the receiver out to the side. So now we can try to fish our throttle servo out. We can set that to the side. And just like always, we're going to put these screws in here. Actually, I don't think that one went there. It doesn't really matter. They're all pretty much the same. Alright, there's the other two right there. So let's take a look at the screws that we do have. Alright, so long, 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 short, short, short. That don't make no sense. Somebody's been into this truck before, most definitely. So let's go ahead and screw these in. Unfortunately, I got to put one short one in here. Oh well. Put these in here. And there we go. And what that does is it gives us access to these screws here so that we can get the front and rear differential off of the truck. Alright, we're going to go ahead and flip it over. I'm going to take the battery box off all as one piece. That fly needs to go away. It's the end of January, man. Fly should be nowhere even near here. Okay, going to have to get our little pokey bit, clean out our screw. Go ahead and take this screw out. That's going to drop our battery tray completely out. Oh, looky there. Yep, I thought there was going to be a wire pinched in here. This is why you don't just go throwing screws in. You need to check and make sure you're not pinching any wires. Alright, so there's our on-off switch. It's going to have a battery tray inside. And again, we will be mounting this properly whenever we go back. Go ahead and set that off to the side. So now we can get the steering servo off of here. And these screws feel like they should be about twice as long. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of meat holding this to the bracket. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this linkage off the bell crank and then just leave everything on the servo. I'll go ahead and pull our steering servo out, set that to the side, and then I'm going to take my screw and put it right back in the bell crank. Now, these screws, I don't want to put them in here because that's going to lock it into the chassis. So we're just going to set those right by the steering servo. That way we know where they go. Let's go ahead and get these skid plates off. If you remember on the last T-Maxx, once we took these off, Ooh, there was all kinds of crap up under there. So let's see how this one does. Fine thread into plastic. Is there anything worse? Now, if you remember, there's going to be 3 different size screws that go into this. So let's move this stuff out of the way, and let's try to put these screws exactly how they come out. That way we can see what sizes are going into what, and if they got them in the correct order. I am noticing that most of the screws do have a bent head. That one went there. That one is extremely bent. This one goes into your little support braces here. I know you guys can't hardly even see what I'm doing. Taking that one out. Alright, put that back here. Take this one out now. And I do want you guys to let me know what you think about this camera angle. I set this up because a lot of people wanted straight down shots instead of off to the side. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I get my screwdriver in there. And if I remember right, these other 2 should be the short ones. Huh. So there's something that I missed. The bell cranks did not have, if I can get that out of the way, those 2 holes. That hole right there and the hole right there should hold this bell crank in place. And guess what? Missing 2 screws in the bell crank. That is not a good place to be missing screws. Alright, so with that, I am going to clean out the screws on the turnbuckle. We're going to go ahead and take those off. Thankfully I was able to actually hold it, because there's a nut on the other side of these that, yeah. Okay, got that one off. I am going to thread this all the way through, that way the nut that was on the back side can actually be in the position it came out of. However, they had these on the bottom side. I kind of think they need to be on the top side. I honestly can't remember. I'll have to check the manual. Alright, go ahead and do this one now. Alright, with that out, we can go ahead and pull off this entire thing, and actually it's not that bad. Set that off to the side, set our little plate off to the side, and put our screw back into our knuckle. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to remember the names of this stuff. It's getting harder and harder to keep a hold of that screwdriver. But as you can see, we got long screws here, short screws there, and just for S&Gs, let's pull this. This should be the shortest screw. Yeah, it's a fairly short screw. I'm going to go ahead and leave that in there, and we will deal with the steering in another video. I am going to take these medium screws and screw them back in to these braces. Just slightly, just enough to hold them. Alright, we'll go ahead and move to the back and do the exact same thing. Another thing that annoys me is when they cut this plate off, the skid plate. Just annoying. That's there for a reason. That's there to keep stuff from just slamming into the back of you. A massive rock fall out of it. Alright, let's take a look under this one. Ugh. Look at that. When you can take stuff out in sheets, that's probably not a good thing. Set that to the side. Again, we're going to put our screws back in here. That way we know exactly where they go. Alright, we're going to wait on that brace because that brace is holding the transmission in. We're going to flip this over again. There's a lot of back and forth. And you know what? We need to go ahead and take the servo mount and the receiver box mount off. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. Set that off to the side. Go ahead and spin it around and get this other one off. Wow, that's some wicked short screws holding the receiver box on. I was thinking they were longer than that. I guess not, because you got to put 2 screws into the same hole. Alright, go ahead and set that off to the side, flip it back over. And we need to cut this zip tie so that we can get the reverse linkage off. And that should just pop right off. There we go. Set that to the side. Check our reverse, and yeah, it actually goes in and out pretty easily. Obviously the rubber's not following it, but that's not a big problem. Actually doesn't sound too bad in there, so I'm not expecting to have to replace anything inside here. I'm not expecting. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have to. Alright, let's go ahead and take the rear differential section off, and this is also going to take the shocks off. It's going to take the A-arms, the bumper, the body mounts. It's going to take all that off. And the final screw. You are the weakest link because you're the only link. That also makes you the strongest link. Alright, take that screw off, and da-da-da-da, we have amputated the, what is that? That's the back end. Can't remember which side I'm working on. We'll set that off to the side. Now we can do the exact same thing to the front. I think somebody put some screws in the wrong areas. I'm going to have to check, find out which screws go where. Let's see if all of these are coarse thread. That one's coarse. Okay. That one's coarse. Huh. Some people, man, just put stuff back where it goes. That's one of my pet peeves. You know, if you take something apart, know how it comes apart, put it back together. Go ahead and amputate the front end. And on this, I'm going to put these coarse screws back in here, and then I'm going to put the fine screws over here. That way, again, I know where they go, because these things are going to be cut for a specific thread. Alright, there's the front end. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this servo bracket off. I should have already done that, but reasons. And once again, put the screw right back in, unless you get it stuck just like that. So now it's going to be a booger to get out. Aha. I can hear the comments now. You don't use cutters to pick up bolts. Alright, set that to the side. These screws are actually proper, albeit the head's stripped out a little bit, but it's not too bad. Go ahead and take off our little throttle deal here. Another fine thread going into plastic, annoying. Now we are left with the transmission. The one thing that everybody seems to be interested in is that transmission. Alright, now it's time to take the transmission out. We have 8 Phillips screws. Here's the stupid thing. The heads on them are number 2 Phillips. Number 2 Phillips does not fit in there. So you have to use a number 1 Phillips. And yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use my drill. There's no way this could go wrong. That one's out. That one's out. That one's out. That one's out. And it falls off. And it doesn't even feel like that one was holding anything on. Alright, set my drill down, take that one off. You can see all 4 screws and all 4 screws, even though that one doesn't want to come out all the way. Transmission. Set that to the side. Now we have a bare chassis. I want to take a look at this one screw. Okay, there we go. Just needs a little cleaning and it'll be fine. Alright, so a highly annoying part, taking all the shocks off. I absolutely hate doing it because you have 8 shocks and 16 bolts, screws, something. It takes forever. And I did forget to put these screws in these bulkheads. Alright, got those bolts in there, so they're not going anywhere. These bolts here were for the plate here, so we'll go ahead and set that there. I've got 4 more bolts underneath here that go to this plate. Alright, once again, I'm going to cheat because, yeah. One, two, and that's not really working because number 1, that might be a number 0. And these are number 2, so yeah, we get to do this the old-fashioned way. Oh well. I can still cheat. Three. Almost forgot. No, I'm not going to do it every time. I haven't done this in a long time, and I'm having fun right now, guys. This is the stuff I love. I love getting my hands dirty, doing just tinkering and playing, and yeah. I wonder how these ones going into aluminum are going to be. Actually, not too shabby. Where's my pokey bit? Gotta clean this one out. I never understood people's fascination with these aluminum A-arms. That one was tight and not a drop of thread lock. It's going into metal. Might as well thread lock it because it doesn't have that retention factor that plastic has. Okay. Ta-da. And pull these screws out. And because there is a very specific type of top shock screw, if I keep these other screws with it, I know where they go. So that's not a big deal. We'll set those off to the side. And there is the front shocks. And for some reason they put Allen heads in here to hold the bumper on. Is that the way they were? Can't remember. Can't use a drill to cheat on this one. God, things are freaking long, man. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to have a deal in between here. And yeah, I don't know why it doesn't. Nope, I already got that one out. So yeah, the front has all 4 screws in the bumper, but doesn't have this centerpiece. The back only has 2 screws, and it had the bumper zip tied up, but it does have this piece. But they cut the skid plate in the rear. There's some things that people do, and I scratch my head, and it's just like, why? I can take this bit out of this handle and put it in my drill. It's like a workout and a half for your hand. Alright, stick all these screws back in there. That way I know where they go. That one's not going. You can stick just like that. And set the bumper off to the side, more in the back. Alright, Phillips, clogged Phillips. Yeah, never understood these. That's a Traxxas thing right there. So we'll go ahead, dig all the dirt out of them. And because these are only threaded a little bit and they're coarse, alright, that's as far out as that one's going. That is another thing I forgot to check. Check the drop. Kind of gritty. These aluminum arms kind of make this cheat. But you can see how tight it is there. It's actually, yeah. So whenever we get these out, we can take a look and see if they're bent. Alright. Grab your pair of pliers, grab it, and just kind of twist and pull. Alright, got a pair of needle nose that actually have some teeth on them. So grab a hold of that screw, twist and pull. And these things are tight, man. They definitely should not be that tight. Don't lose that little guy. He's actually a clip. I thought he went all the way around. We're going to go ahead and do the bottom just so we can get the left side off, right side off. It's one of them sides. The short one, bring these back over here so you guys can see it. The short one goes on the bottom down here, and the long one goes up here. Just for anybody that's needing that information. Go ahead and pull these off. We'll just leave that shaft on there and set it to the side. Then we do the same thing to this one. I think this one was even tighter. But with the right tools, it makes it so much easier. And I don't want that little clip to go flying. Actually, I could probably, nope. Watch that one be a full circle. Oh, that'd be my luck. No? Sucker didn't want to pull out though. I didn't even notice the one up front. You guys probably did, and you guys are probably yelling at me. Dude, you just dropped one. Almost got my finger in there. Ooh, that would have sucked. This one's like wicked tight. There we go. Gotta manhandle a little bit. They're not too bad. Take this off. Gimme. That one was kind of tight on here. So now we can hold this shaft and spin. I can feel a little bit gummy in there, but it feels like somebody just rebuilt it with some axle grease. So that's fine. Let's feel this one. Oh my God. That one is tight. That's a bad sound. And it's only on one spot. Yep. Ooh. Uh-oh. What's that all about? Oh no. I guess we'll find out in the differential rebuild video. That does not look good. Oh, bad news bears right there. Set this to the side. Let's go ahead and get the shock tower off of here. Oh, the suspense. These right here are the dumbest. You know, it's directly behind here. You can't get nothing in there. These are like the most common bolts to strip out on a T-Maxx. I wonder if I can't get this other one in there a little bit easier. Go Gadget Allen driver, because it has a smaller shank. Okay. That made it moderately easier. But I think if we take and, like, this has a pretty good lip right there. I think if we cut a groove in there, it'd make this a lot easier. And I don't think it'd weaken that bulkhead much at all. Alright. And there's a shock tire. Set it to the side. We can now pull these off. But do I want to? Of course I do. Okay. Pull those off. Set them to the side. And there's our differential that has rut row problems. Oh man, I hope that's just a shim issue. Alright, set it to the side. Dang it, man. Alright, and the final piece that we're going to do in the teardown is the back end differential. Get rid of the zip tie. Man, this one is freaking dirty. Wow. Just setting those over there with the other ones. They're all the same, except these bottom ones, which I still need to clean out. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. Go ahead and take our turnbuckles off. That way it drops down, we can get access to the shock. We'll pull them out. And 4 more shocks. Da-da-da. And let's just pick one at random and squeeze it. I'm going to hold it up to the mic. Oh, look at this. That one's got a limiter on it. That's cheating. If you set your shocks up right, you don't need those rubber bump stops. So it looks like there's only 2. Very interesting. Okay, there we go. There's the shocks. Now we need to take the bumper out. This one has Phillips in it. Make up your mind. Wow. Luckily it's a extremely bent coarse screw. So yeah, there's that. What in the world? Oh, the freaking turnbuckle. But this one can go up and pretty much stay up. So yeah, we're going to have to do some work on that one. So I do want you to go up a little bit though. Thank you. Screwdriver wouldn't go in there. Wow, there's a wicked long screw. Okay, there's the rear bumper. Go ahead and set that off to the side. Alright, do the same thing on the A-arms. My towel keeps sliding up. I should have put like carpet tape underneath there or something. That one felt bent. Okay. Now we get to play the twist and pull game. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one didn't want to come out either. Alright, so set those to the side. Wow. Good Lord. Okay, God. Go ahead and take shock tower off. This one's not as much of an angle, but it's still at an angle. Okay, that fell off. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and leave these screws in here. Alright, rear shock tower. Set it to the side, if I can find the front shock tower. Come out, wherever you, there you are. Okay, so now we should be able to pull these apart. Why is that not wanting to come apart? You should. I took all screws. I think there is broke off screws in here, because that sucker is not wanting to come out. Oh, that is no bueno whatsoever. Well, unfortunately, we are just going to have to force it. Yep, you can see it right there. There is broke off screws in here. So, if we can twist it enough, we can get one side off, and then we can take the other side off and twist it the other way and get it off like that. Unfortunately, that did kind of strip out in here. I don't care about in here. It doesn't need to be tight inside there. We should have been able to just pull these apart, because it should be clamping the bumper onto this. This should be the only thing threaded. But now I know why they didn't have any screws in it. So let's go ahead and take these out. So yeah, get off. All right. But still, why this piece is missing in the front, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Set that there. Those are now trash. Alright, bulkhead. Set those here. Here's our differential. We'll go ahead and hold the center one, twist this. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is like really, really tight. Alright, go ahead and twist this one. Now it doesn't feel as bad as the front. Let's see if I can. No, I don't feel anything like I do on that front one, man. Okay, well, I mean, this one just feels like the spider gears inside are extremely old grease, so not a big deal there. I am kind of a lot worried about that front one though. Go ahead, set that off to the side. And then we'll just do a quick visual inspection on the transmission. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah. A little dirty. I don't see any cracks or anything. I'm not seeing a lot of backlash in here. That one's got a little bit more than I like. I would really like to put a plastic spur gear back on here. Again, it gives it a cheap point of failure. So if something's going to go bad, let that go bad, instead of that $10 or $12 clutch bell, because that thing, you look there, that thing is just straight up knife edged, man. Look at that. Focus. Nope, don't focus on that. Focus on the engine. There you go, kinda. Yeah. It ain't gonna cooperate with me, but we'll get a nice up close shot of that one. But yeah, for anybody that has ever freaked out on this, outputs aren't spinning. Oh no, my transmission's broke. No, it's not. In here, there is what's called a dog that once this goes fast enough, it'll sling out and it'll actually engage the rest of the drivetrain. It also includes your 1-2 gear shift and all that. Those have dogs on it as well. So there we go. That is the teardown of the T-Maxx, and it's worse than I thought. So we've got all of our A-arms here. I'm going to do like an A-arm rebuild video, basically where we take off all these things and clean them and put them back on, show you how to properly set them. Obviously, this is bad news right here. I don't have much to say about that other than I am kind of dreading going into these. So definitely a differential rebuild video because there's a problem with one of them. The engine, we're going to have to take it apart, take a look at that piston and sleeve. So we're going to go through the transmission. I don't think there's going to be anything wrong inside there, so not worried about that. Shocks, as long as the seals are still good, these will be really easy. It'll be just like the last video series. So there we go, guys. That's the that's the complete teardown. So obviously we didn't tear the differentials down, we didn't tear the transmission or the engine down or anything like that. But this is getting it into individual pieces, and this is where we're going to pick up in the next video. So if you guys want to see something specific on this truck, guys, post in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to help out for any upgrades such as the engine, piston, sleeve, stuff like that, down in the description there's links to Patreon, there's links to PayPal. You guys can chip in a couple bucks and help out on these projects. It is not required, it has never been required, but those of y'all that do want to help out, the links are down there. For now though, I get to get all this stuff organized, I get to get my towel cleaned off so that we can start rebuilding this truck. It is going to look completely different when it's put back together. So I know this video was wicked long, and the reason for that is I've already done one of these and people were saying that they wanted more content. They wanted to see how I took it apart. They wanted to see pretty much every aspect of what I did, and that's what I'm giving you. So again, it's long, I know, and you guys now know the reason why it's so long. I can't thank you guys enough for watching. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button. Go ahead and ring that bell so you guys are notified when new videos come out. There's going to be a lot of videos on this. There's going to be some very detailed videos on this truck. So be sure you get notifications, get subscribed, ring that bell. As always, I want to thank everyone for watching. See you guys in the next video.